Now that Bjalfi's gone, looks like I'm available again. Back to the old dating game.
When heading north of the seafaring city of Anvil up the Gold Coast Road, we see a small stone farmstead named Whitmond Farm. Exiting the house as we arrive, an imperial woman looks over her shoulder, barking.
What do you want?
Curious, and perhaps foolhardily, we approach her once more as she toils in the field, and she turns to question.
If you see my good-for-nothing husband Bjalfi, tell him I want back what he stole from me.
Sorry, I didn't catch your name. Maeva the, Buxom? Was it? What did your husband steal?
Perhaps you can help me. My husband's name is Bjalfi the Contemptible. My father said I was a fool to marry him, but I didn't listen. At our wedding, my father gave us a family heirloom as a gift. Rockshatter, a mace that's been in my family for many generations. Bjalfi snatched Rockshatter from our mantle and took off to find his fortune with the local marauder gang at Fort Strand. I want that mace back. Please, I don't think he's ever coming back, and I'd hate to lose such a precious heirloom to a gang of thugs.
This begins the quest when vows break.
Please bring back Rockshatter. It means a great deal to me.
Approaching Maeva after receiving the quest, she simply questions.
Found Rockshatter yet by chance?
Leaving Maeva to toil in the fields, our quest updates. I've been asked by Maeva the Buxom at Whitmond Farm outside of Anvil to help recover a family heirloom her husband stole when he left her. The mace is named Rockshatter. Her husband, Bjalfi the Contemptible, was last seen heading for the ruins of Fort Strand to join the marauder gang there. Inside the farmhouse, we do see it looks as if a couple used to live there, though there is no hooks on the mantle where this Rockshatter supposedly hung, though it does appear one of the chests by their bedside had been rifled through. Now, it should be quickly noted before taking on this quest, there is an unexpected way to finish it before even meeting Maeva, as well as fail in a cruel turn of events. However, we choose to pity the busty broad and retrieve her family heirloom after watching the poor Imperial attending to the farm alone, as we note. Since her husband abandoned her, Maeva tries her best to run the farm by herself, which means lots of work out in the open, toiling in the fields, although she still manages to find some time to relax. She gets out of bed at 6 a.m, takes her breakfast in the house for 2 hours, then strolls around for 1 hour. At 9 a.m, she exits the house, pulls out her rake, and works the land tirelessly until she re-enters the house at 6 p.m. for a 3-hour dinner. 3 hours before bedtime at midnight are spent in a chair in front of the fireplace, where Rockshatter supposedly used to hang, where she reads the book Beggar Prince. Curiously, this is a text devoted to Namira, a Daedric prince we'd recently encountered in a video linked at the end of this one. It should also be quickly noted that Maeva doesn't appear buxom, which means plump or round-bodied with ample cleavage.
This is your last warning. Get out or I'll call the guards and have you arrested.
Due to Oblivion having only one body type preset for NPCs, I tried to find a non-nude way to plump up Maeva, but her bosom broke through all of the clothes and I don't want to get demonetized. There are a lot of nude mods though I found out there, like a lot of nude mods. Anyway, searching for Fort Strand to the southeast of Anvil, our quest updates. I've been asked by Maeva the Buxom at Whitmond Farm outside Anvil to help her recover a family heirloom her husband stole when he left her. The mace is named Rockshatter. Her husband, Bjalfi the Contemptible, was last seen heading for the ruins of Fort Strand to join the marauder gang there. Just outside the walls of Anvil, we see atop a hill the ruins of the dilapidated fort and dismount our horse cautiously as we spy a single sentry doing their rounds outside the fort. Wary of the unknown numbers of the marauder forces we may face, we wait until nightfall and stalk silently up from the southeastern corner. Skirting to the southern side of the ruins, we spot 2 Red Guard marauders and realise we've already been made. However, we still have the element of surprise.
Damn, I've lost them.
Cautiously approaching the bandits, we find neither are Bjalfi the Contemptible or own the fabled mace Rockshatter. It seems all roads lead into the old wooden door into the bowels of Fort Strand. Creeping into the ruins' innards best we can in our iron armour, we enter an old rusty gate and look to our left to see what appears to be a lone figure, another sentry and perhaps an Argonian archer that we contend with. Looting the female Argonian by lifting her tail to find the petty goods on their remains. We then open the gate to the northeast. Heading down a dimly lit and narrow hall, we find a cavernous room and a solo bandit with its back to us in the gloom. Pulling out our bow as we move forward, we're nearly hit with a trap that they'd laid for unwanted interlopers. Miraculously, the elf still stands and we see he's not alone.
Die, Imperial, die! I've fought mud crabs more fearsome than you!
I fought mud crabs.
Die, cur! Die, damn you! Die! Come here! Ha! You'll never take me down!
With both of the bandits dead, we find not much of note on both of their corpses. However, of note is an old wooden door to Fort Strand's inner Great Dome. Following a winding hall, we find another gate into an open, spacious room with two statues guarding a broken bridge. Listening closer, we hear muffled voices in the background before taking a misstep.
Who seems to know what's going on, although as usual he speaks only in riddles, as prophets always seem to do. Really? Goodbye. Goodbye.
Surviving what almost felt like falling for days in the short distance. We hear that the two Nords have ceased talking, and as we start to follow the winding hall, nearly bump into the first one that's doing his rounds. With decidedly nowhere to go, we turn, pull our bow, and summon a skeleton that takes him by surprise, though his reaction surprises us entirely.
Huh?
The marauder and his companion we see as we round the corner seemingly flee, and we think it must be to more of their companions, or perhaps the high ground, which they gleefully use against us.
Let's get this over with. Today you die.
Believing Bjalfi the Contemptible, as we're shocked by volts of electricity from Rockshatter, no doubt. We begin to make our way through the winding tunnels, desperate for any form of advantage we can find. Instead, finding an Imperial archer, bow drawn behind a gate, who lies in wait.
You're pathetic. It ends here!
Seeing we're back at the broken bridge, we're edged onto its lip. As we attempt to cross, it crumbles beneath our feet.
Do your worst!
Momentarily safely atop a ledge, though Bjalfi is not, we take care of the marauder archer first. Then dropping down into the lower level, we entice the marauder warlord into single combat. But Bjalfi begins to press his attack. With Bjalfi fallen, we scoop up Maeva's prized dwarven mace, Rockshatter, but not before taking the armor off his corpse and seeing one of our arrows had landed in his heart. Our quest then updates. I found Bjalfi the Contemptible inside Fort Strand with Rockshatter still in his possession. I should take the weapon back to Maeva and tell her of her late husband's fate. Before leaving, we equip Rockshatter, seeing it does 11 damage. At level 1, shock damage 5 points on strike, and weakness to shock 10% for 20 seconds on strike. As we round the final corner to leave, we find we're chased by a Nord bandit and get to see Rockshatter in full effect.
I'll hack you to pieces. Die, cur!
As night lingers, we return to Whitmond Farm to see the Buxom Imperial has turned in for the night, and so we head inside. Finding the sleeping Maeva, we draw Rockshatter, and we can look at different ways to end the quest.
Get out of here.
If we had instead decided to keep the mace and give Maeva's noggin a flogging.
Hey, come on now. There's no need.
A pop-up would read, "With Maeva's death, it's impossible to complete this quest." Curiously, Bjalfi the Contemptible does not spawn in when this quest begins, which means he is prancing about Fort Strand from the beginning of the game and can be happened upon with his new marauder floozy at any time.
Hello there.
How are you?
Fantastic. Thanks for asking.
Virtuous visitors to way shrines of Kinnereth may receive blessings of agility.
Really? Huh? Where'd you go?
Why?
Come out where I can see you. Ha! You'll never take me down.
Taking Rockshatter from his corpse, a pop-up would strangely read, "I've come across an unusual mace named Rockshatter on the body of a Nord. The mace has a worn inscription on the haft reading, 'To Maeva and Bjalfi in honor of your union.' I should hang on to this weapon as I'm sure Maeva will want to know her late husband's fate. Locating this unknown Maeva at the time, mace by our side, she would rebuke."
What do you want? If you see my good-for-nothing husband, Bjalfi, tell him I want back what he stole from me.
Was his name Bjalfi the Contemptible, perchance? I reclaimed this mace from him.
Goddess, you have Rockshatter already? And what's become of Bjalfi?
Now, from this point onwards, the quest outcomes remain the same if we'd originally reclaimed the mace or happened upon it, and approaching Maeva after receiving the quest, she would have instead first asked.
Found Rockshatter yet by chance?
Yes, I'd retrieved it from Bjalfi.
I'd already convinced myself I'd never see Rockshatter again, but I was wrong. What's become of Bjalfi?
Sorry, Maeva. He's dead.
He was a good man when I married him, but greed took a hold of his heart. While I'm not happy he's dead, I'm glad he's at peace. Well, I'm just glad that it's all over and Rockshatter is back where it belongs, in my family. I feel I owe you something for your efforts. Yes, I feel it only appropriate that you have my dowry. I would consider it an honor.
With the quest concluded, Maeva equips Rockshatter in battle if we wanted to retrieve said mace once more, as we receive a paltry 20 gold for our efforts, as it scales plus an additional 25 gold for each level above that, to a maximum of 745 gold at level 30.
May the goddess watch you. Now that Bjalfi's gone, looks like I'm available again. Back to the old dating game.